Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us live if you are. We are recording live here from the Stooge at Colminx, Jake Colminx Studio. Really happy to be here, and we are happy to welcome in the studio live today. We have a live special performance. This is the first time we're doing this, and hope to do it a lot in the future. But our guest today is Casa Blue of Michigan, Grand Rapids area. So give it up for Casa Blue, and they're actually going to play us in with an original song. So have at it, guys. Thank you.
Sing to the sound, it's all but left to echo. Silent streets are painted red. There's weight in these walls and cracks in the foundation. I know I'll never forget.
Woo! Awesome. Once again, that was Casa Blue of Michigan. If you guys missed the intro, this is Where Is This Going? A podcast about artists that you may not know, but soon will hopefully grow to appreciate and love and adore as much as I do. Thank you guys so much for joining me in the studio today. We have a lot of people in here. Everything's harder, no matter what production you're doing, everything's harder with more bodies on it. And especially nowadays, it's harder to stay safe. It's more important to stay safe, I'd say. So I'm glad that we could all do this in a safe way, and I appreciate you guys making it out here. I'll
Thanks
try.
for having us.
Oh, of course. Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of talking. You guys do the singing. I'll do the talking. No.
We can barely do that. Nah,
All right. All right. Do you want me to introduce you guys, or you can introduce yourselves? You're adults. I don't.
We'll take over on it.
All right. Go ahead. Do it.
Hi, I'm Matt Grotis. I sing. I'm not that great, but I do what I can.
I am Sam Inglesman, play guitar.
I'm Tyler Mao. I play bass normally. I'm Keith, and I play drums.
Nice.
And Lorenzo Bio, fiddle around his thing.
Nice. And together they are Casa Blue. once again, I fucking A. I'm so glad you guys are here. Excuse my language. I apologize. But
Dude, we're super stoked to be here. Thank you so
Oh,
much
of
for having
course.
us. It means a lot, man.
Of
Really.
course. And to have a live performance in here is something awesome that I know Calming has been excited to do, and I'm glad we could actually finally do it. So I know we're gonna try to get down to like individual kind of past histories, whatever. I know Matt specifically. I don't mean to jump to him first, just because he's
No, you're good.
the front of everything,
Sure.
singing or whatever. Yeah.
I'm
So
the sexiest, okay?
exactly. So I'll jump to the
No,
most.
no.
I'll jump to the most
No,
important
Matt.
person. Matt, I know you went to Zealand, right?
Yeah.
You grew up in Zealand,
Mm-hmm.
correct? And I know,
Zealand East, baby.
yeah, represent, go Chicks.
Go Kids. Boo.
I remember I first heard of you from Maybe Next Time.
Oh, yo.
We
okay.
used to actually, MC would blast that in Lifetime gym
Wow.
class. So yeah, you're actually still the soundtrack of Zealand East. I don't know if you realize that.
Hey, little known this dude was in Maybe Next Time, too. He played
Awesome. So
guitar.
Sam and Matt,
Yeah.
and who else was in Maybe Next Time? Eric or no?
We had Riley, Miles, and Logan. And
And
Mark.
Josiah.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that was
geez,
a
lot
small
of people.
army.
Yeah.
Honestly, now that I think about it.
Nice. All right. And so we have a Zealand chick. Anyone else from Zealand? No, Sam, obviously.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
We don't
Beautiful
talk
to
to
hear.
Sam.
I
We
would have
don't- we don't
assumed.
talk to him.
I would assumed
He's in the family.
Inglesman would have been a Zealand name as well
Yeah.
for some reason. And then Tyler, where are you from?
I'm from Holland too. I went to West Ottawa. And
Nice.
actually, so did Keith and Renzo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. And
class, right?
Yeah,
Same grade.
yeah.
nice. All right. So I just burped. I couldn't tell if the mask covered it or not. So
It
thought it was
did.
Matt.
It did
yeah,
a great
I can
job.
feel it all.
Normally that's Matt.
Yeah, normally that's me, dude.
All right, I'll fill in. So, what year did you guys graduate? The Whoa crew,
2010. Yeah.
2010, and you graduated in what?
Oh,
Don't
nine.
make me answer this
Oh, okay, I'm
question.
sorry.
Oh, nine.
Like
Yeah, I
92.
signed up for ARP already.
Yeah. You were just what, 09 or?
Yeah. Oh, nine. Yeah.
Nice.
Same.
Yeah, you graduated with my sister then.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So 29, 29, 28. Nice. You guys have all passed the 27 club. So
Super stoked on
yeah,
that.
We're all old men.
yeah,
honestly. We're
it could
super
it
old.
could go a couple of ways. If you pass the 27 club, that's really awesome. But also maybe means you guys hadn't been making much of an impact at that time. So now
or ever.
is the time.
Yeah.
Now's the time to turn it up. Is all I'm saying.
Yep.
That's what
Once
I
you
thought.
once you make it
Yeah.
safe. Fucking awesome.
No. Yo, hey, can I make a serious note real quick?
Of course.
I want to give a shout out to your sister who has beat cancer twice, right?
Yes, she's working on the second time right
she
now, but
graduated
yes.
with me in my class.
Yeah.
And I remember her, and I just want to give her a big shout out because,
Oh,
wow, that's
thank
a
you.
huge
No,
battle, and she
Hell yeah.
she
Shout
won.
out to my sister, Kiera Miles. Beat cancer back in, I don't remember, the early 2000s.
Wow.
And had a round 2 with breast cancer. She just finished her chemo treatments.
Wow.
Just rang that bell. So we're moving into like reconstruction and stuff. But man, that girl's a fighter for sure.
Tons
Wow.
of respect for that.
Yeah.
That's amazing, honestly.
A
Wow.
huge inspiration of just a picture of strength. But yeah.
Huge inspiration for me because, wow, I saw that and was blown away.
Yeah, dude, same. I have to say, same. And it really is beautiful to like just closely admire her strength and just ability to hold it together.
Yeah.
Also, like a mother of 4, just had like 2 twin babies who
Wow.
like their first birthdays in just like 2 weeks. Anyways.
Wow.
Enough about that. Love you, Kara. But back to Casa Blue. So I know. Did you guys, Matt? What other instruments do you play?
Started out on drums in 8th grade. You know, maybe a little before that. I play a little bit of acoustic, a little bit of uke, but singing is just really fun and freeing for me.
Right.
He also played saxophone in band. Don't
Yeah.
be hiding that from
Yeah.
This guy,
why
this
is
guy
why,
played
that's-
trumpet. I don't know why he's hiding that.
Right. No, we have a saxophone here if you'd like. Would you play alto or tenor?
Let me play some Kenny G.
Yeah,
shit.
we can pull out a soprano sax for you. Nice. I also played saxophone.
Oh, you
in
did?
band. Yeah. So did Calming. He was an alto, I was a tenor.
Okay, awesome.
Nice. Sam, trumpet. Yes.
Trumpet, recorder.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll throw it way back, 5th grade.
Yeah.
Everybody was playing recorder.
No, pretty much just trumpet and then just guitar.
Yeah.
Triangle.
Guitar.
He plays triangle too.
No.
All the easy ones.
Yeah.
Tyler, so are you playing an acoustic guitar or is that bass? I can't tell
Yeah,
from
a
here.
guitar right now. I play guitar and bass, but in
Okay.
the context of Casa Blue, just bass.
Okay, cool.
generally. Yeah.
And so, yeah, just guitar and bass, though? Just those?
Oh, and I'm also like really good at playing spoons.
Oh, no, okay.
Awesome.
Like lap spoons? Or
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
No. That's an actual talent. You can't just...
That is. I know he's joking, but that's
Yeah,
that's a real talent.
You sold it well. You
All
sold
right,
it
thank you,
well.
I tried, yeah.
Lorenzo, guitar, electric guitar, very well, by the way.
Eat,
all-
sleep, breathe.
Yeah, you guys are good, too. Whatever.
No,
But...
No, but
Yeah.
we're not this guy.
So, did you grow up just playing guitar, or...
Yeah, actually, a long time ago when Toys R Us was still in town.
Oh, yeah?
When they were like going out of business, picked up one. I think my mom picked it up for me. Had it sit there for years because I didn't know how it worked. Like you have to. I didn't know this, and that I can't believe I'm admitting it on here. but to play the guitar, you have to push this down
Wait,
to
what?
make a note. I
Right.
didn't know that because I would just slide my fingers up and down. And I was kind of. I didn't know. Yeah, I was.
Confessions with
Yeah,
Renzo.
guitar
right
was
now.
just a whole nother beast, but it kind
You
of
actually have to press down to play guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there you go.
But yeah,
That's good.
it kind of started from there, and here we are now. You know, all these years later. But
Oh, yeah.
it's been fun. It's just kind of like it started out like as a stress reducer, you know,
Right.
and then obviously chilling with these guys and making stuff is cool too. So
Yeah, it gets a lot of fun when something that can also be like you said, a relief or like a stress releaser can also be productive in
Yeah.
another sense too. Productive to art and whatnot.
Yeah,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
And once you learn how to actually do it, it's
Yeah.
really cool.
kind of goes.
Yeah.
So you got, the Toys R Us here in Holland closed.
Sad,
Um,
right?
I thought you said
So
Saturday.
Sad. Like,
I
our
was like,
childhoods
no.
are dead now.
No, that
right?
closed years ago. That
Oh,
closed,
time ago.
what, like 15? No, it hasn't been that long.
Oh my God.
It's been
Oh,
it's like a
Toys R Us
big
kids
lot.
at home.
Yeah,
I don't
12
know, but
years
I
ago.
thought it was
Middle
still
school.
open.
Yeah, middle school.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Wow. Is that when you started playing guitar though, in like middle school, high school?
Yeah.
Era? Nice.
So kind of
I actually, I think it was when we were in high school. One of the first times I met Lorenzo, he was playing guitar in an Iron Maiden cover band
Oh,
that some of
yeah.
my
That's
other
what it
friends
was.
were in.
That-
And I looked out and I saw that I think he had like a lobster on the headstock of your guitar.
I was trying to be.
And
I was trying to be something.
I was like,
that
what is
I-
happening? But then he like melted my face and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you can live up to that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. Lobster face. Keith, have you always played drums, or did you
No.
develop into it?
I actually started with piano.
Oh, of course.
There was a lot of instruments in my house, like growing up,
Mhm.
and I wasn't good at sports. So I tried just messing around with different instruments, and they were there. My grandpa and grandma were piano players.
Nice.
I never got lessons or anything, but they were just always there, so I played them
Right.
and figured out, like, I just tried to figure out how to play them. But then, yeah, piano and then drums, and then messing around with guitar and some other instruments, but that's kind of it
Oh, yeah.
for me.
Did you do? Because I know for Zealand at least, like the band program and stuff, you have to have like piano lessons before you can go into percussion. Did you go into percussion like in high school or anything like
I
that?
didn't. I was too intimidated, actually. I didn't think I was good enough to do it. I was in choir, and I hated it.
Didn't.
I tried to sing as quiet as I could.
Right.
I didn't want to be heard, because I was like, I don't know, I just compared myself to all these other good like singers and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, looking back, I kind of wish I would have like done band or something, but at the same time, like, I'm good at the fact that I didn't, because I didn't like high school.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hashtag no regrets.
yeah.
No.
But yeah, it was all just more just like playing in my basement and stuff.
Right. I got a similar I almost said Toy Story. Toys R Us. I got a drum set
Toy Story is a great
Oh,
movie, though.
for my birthday, and I had taken lessons for like 2 years and got stuck on drums, and then completely lost all hope and just went to saxophone. But I always wish I would have stayed with either of them, because now I don't play anything.
Yeah.
But I try to make funnies, and that's fun too.
You're good at making funnies.
Thank you.
You're a meme. You're a meme. so-
Yes, yeah. Shout out to Devron Thomas and Joe Elder and all the Devron
Yeah.
for taking the picture, but Joe Elder and all the other Grand Rapids comedians for circulating the meme after we recorded a podcast last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember now.
It's a beautiful picture. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it.
You
It's
gotta
the
see
best.
it.
It's
This
We
is
said
what
we
we've
weren't
been
gonna get
waiting
political.
for.
That's about as political as we're getting.
This is what we have been waiting for. Just
Yeah.
the first. That's actually, I think, no, probably the second Trump
Sorry.
impression
It's all
on
right.
this.
I'm sorry.
He goes, I'm so. He's like, this is not what I needed.
I'm so sorry.
So I know Matt and Sam, and maybe next time back in high school. Was that your guys' first and only band? I guess before Casa Blue, or
I was for about a year. I was in another band. After maybe next time I was done, I was in a band called Midwest Skies out of
Okay.
Grand Rapids, and they were a pop punk band. So
okay.
played a
Nice.
few shows and went around the state with them. And
Hell yeah. Do any festivals or anything like that, or just?
we played one festival up in Kalkaska.
No,
It was so cold.
I could tell. I could
We
tell
played
it was
outside in the sun.
interesting before I heard Kalkaska, but then once I heard
We all started laughing.
exactly,
Yeah.
but then once you heard Kalkaska, you're like, oh no, okay.
Yeah.
Like Kalkaska is the inside joke.
No, it was super cold, but no, that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Like the crowd was super into it, but
No.
yeah.
I love pop punk. That's my roots in music. My roots in appreciation of music.
Same, honestly, same.
Yeah, All Time Low was my shit.
Great band, dude.
Dude, I won't get into it because most of it's
Do it.
actually just embarrassing.
Do it. Let's go down that nostalgia
Let's
lane.
not.
if you want
Hey,
to.
Tyler.
Good Charlotte.
Good Charlotte.
There's
Blake some.
the Academy there's a bunch of Forever the Sickest
Ooh.
Kids. There's a bunch of
Oh yeah.
dumb bands. Okay, Tyler, were you in any bands? All right, so did any of you guys perform in Wostock, coming in high school and stuff?
Raise your hand if you performed in a roast.
Nice, yep.
No,
Yeah,
Jack,
so I think the first band I was in was with a couple of other guys from West Ottawa, Fukdo and then Ricky Spana.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah. I think it's called the Typical Hooligans or something. We just played Blink covers like. Everyone
Of
does.
course,
Punk rules.
typical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I joined like a metalcore band when I was in high school, called the Active Inspire.
I've heard of that. I
Yeah.
remember that.
It's OG, man.
And then the one person that made it
OG
out of that
Holland
band, Courtney Grinwis, the
Yes.
drummer, was like actually like
That's
she's
who I
amazing.
remember. Okay.
She's in a band called Chapel now. It's like
Yeah.
doing really good. So
Yeah.
Solid band too.
Yeah.
and then I think I jammed with you, Keith,
Yeah.
once, like in your basement or
Yeah.
something when I was in
Yeah.
high school, just for fun.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, I didn't remember that until he brought it up. But I played in an alternative rock band growing up too,
Mhm.
just some like kids in the neighborhood.
Right.
And we started a band, and it was a lot of fun.
Hell
and
yeah.
really interesting looking back. We were just like, I mean, it was like, I don't know, just an interesting time of my life. But yeah, that was fun. Like learning how to play with people. It was like really exciting because like growing up playing music alone, it's like a certain thing. You have like a certain mindset about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you start playing with other people, like everything changes and it kind of becomes
sure.
something else. So
That collaborative effort and the collaborative like chemistry
Yeah.
of creating together it's a new, I don't know, it's like a new monster. It's a new
It
animal.
is.
It's like almost a completely new instrument. Like
Right.
playing like guitar in your room by yourself is essentially a different instrument than like playing guitar in a band
Right.
or like drums or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of times,
Yeah.
like, with music, like, when I'm playing with people, I realize, like, it's kind of a cliche. I feel like it's, like, less is more. But, like, a lot of times I'm, like,
I feel like the less I like to hear things. Like
Right.
a lot of times, like it's like I don't know. Like when I was young, I wanted to like do the craziest fills and like do the craziest stuff and
And you want
blast
the
beats.
spotlight
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I don't know. The more I just like my taste developed for music and stuff, I think, and like art and appreciating stuff, I realized like I don't know, like what I like. I guess.
Right.
I think any artist does that.
Yeah,
or,
and
you know,
to just like interject yourself in that where you feel you can build,
Yeah.
rather than just playing to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
for
less,
sure.
it's less
Yeah.
about yourself and more about like just the music.
Yeah.
And, like I think when I was young, I didn't get that at all.
Right.
It was, like, it was literally about me. I felt like.
I think that's like not only music but most things when you're like
Mhm.
team sports and stuff don't really work
Yeah.
that well. Like soccer for 5-year-olds is all bunch ball. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just bunching at the ball. You don't understand like, oh, I should hang back here and play defense
Yeah.
and like, pick your role
Yeah.
and play that role.
Yeah, that's funny because chemistry, I think, is a very overlooked thing and a very overlooked kind of component of being in a band.
Right.
Because I think it's really easy to just say, hey, let's play music. You play music, I play music, let's play music.
Right.
But it doesn't always work well.
Yeah.
Certain people and certain personalities and I guess creative profiles, for like a lack of a better way of saying it, like certain creative profiles work better together.
Right.
And it's actually like like after MNT, I almost never thought that I'd find anything like this again. Like, because MNT was a very tight knit group. It was a very like, I don't know. We just like were able to kind of get each other on a level that was like, and no one seemed to understand. Almost our families didn't even understand us like our bandmates did, right? And like, I feel like with Casa, we kind of are able to, I don't know, embody that in a way as well. And I never thought that like I'd be able to find another project that would have such solid chemistry. Because like we have days where like we can create a song in like an hour, just like jamming together in a room, or 15 minutes pretty much jamming together in a room.
When the energy's there.
Exactly. So it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
unique how songs can form from like that different like chemistry as well.
Right.
Because like sometimes we have Renzo kick it off on guitar. Sometimes we have Keith come up with a beat and then we formulate around that. Sometimes we're just all in a room and then we all just kick off at the same time, and that to me is chemistry, because
Right.
you're coming together for a creative cause and you're like able to create something that's like seemingly bigger than yourself, because
Right.
you're combining your energy, your know-how with everyone else's, which is crazy cool. you
I
know?
think that's the most beautiful part of a collaborative effort too, is
Yeah.
the coming together to create something bigger than you could alone, but also
Yeah.
bigger than yourself in your individual effort.
for
And
sure.
especially when it comes to creativity in like a collaborative effort, it's so amazing to one, that chemistry that people can come together and create together, and for energies to build off of each other and people to feed off of that. But
Yeah.
also when you think about like the chemistry necessary for not only creativity but also just being
Yeah.
together, being in a space, sharing space,
Being in a
especially when you
band
think
is like
about
being in a family that
Exactly.
you choose, essentially.
all the
right?
touring and stuff like that, just a lot of traveling in general, not even necessarily touring, but playing any gigs, just practicing.
Comedy also has chemistry in a different way, though.
Right, but that's
Your
that's
chemistry
harder
is
to,
kind of with a crowd and a different
Exactly.
stage, and
harder to develop
it is.
unless you like. That's an individual like inside work, because you have to have the confidence from the chemistry of all the crowds, I guess.
And
Does
that's
that make
difficult to
sense?
do because each crowd is a different kind of group and a different like entity, if
Right,
you will.
exactly.
Right?
Which is similar for music and comedy, but
Mhm.
the thing is, you guys have each other up there, which I have to commend, because you seem like such a tight knit group as well. That when you are up against a crowd, so to speak, that you have a backing, like you have support up there, which is nice because I just have a stand and a stool.
Yeah, that can be tough to do. Like that's
Stool.
if I'm being honest, I really gotta send you some like love and respect for.
Oh, I
what you
appreciate
do,
it, but
'cause
I'm not the
comedy's tough
greatest
like
at
that.
it. Lorenzo.
we all feel that way, you
Right.
know? But,
Yeah, that's a fucking self-confidence. My bad.
no, dude, you're good.
Lorenzo, I don't want to skip out on you also. So I heard an Iron Maiden cover band in high school. Any other bands or projects?
Yeah, I mean, I was involved in the hardcore scene for a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I always kind of felt kind of out of it in that scene because I never really listened to that stuff. I mean, I
Right.
grew up listening to, like, Thin Lizzy, like, Led Zeppelin. I did the classic rock thing to start off with,
Mhm.
and then it kind of morphed into, like, the indie and
Yeah.
alternative, like, more around there, grunge stuff. But, I don't know. I just never felt that I could find a place where I truly fit in or just, like, felt free to kind of do what I want almost.
Right.
I always kind of felt like I was in the background all the time. And I mean, I appreciate those times a lot and all the people that were there. I mean, I'll never forget that. It's amazing stuff, you know?
Right, and
But
it helps you develop as a.
For sure, yeah. I
player.
used to be trash, and this is like a lot better now.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad.
So,
I'm still trash.
Hashtag still trash.
Stay trash.
but no, this band has been, it's the most interesting band in the best way because, like how Matt was saying, like, we can come up with, like, it's weird how, like, we can come up with something in, like, a very short amount of time, like, something we actually like, too.
Right.
And then some of that stuff is kind of built on from each other to make more complicated songs, but
Mhm.
I never experienced that, you know?
Right,
It
the
just happened-
creativity
It
kind
happened
of.
so quickly, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm good, just keep going, like, just keep doing it, so
Oh yeah.
that's kind of what I've been doing.
You like to. Obviously, I think creative is trying to get into a space where you're in that flow state, and the
That's
best
what it is.
the best environment to conduce that flow state.
And I think where you feel at home, kind of in a way.
Exactly.
Because if you don't feel at home, how are you going to get in that flow state?
Exactly.
you know?
It's that whole family feel again. Is that a Casa Blue mask? I have to ask.
It is.
All right. I've been.
I'm gonna make a joke and just say that it is, but it's not.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mom, for the mask. No, hey, my mom is a realtor. She gave me a Coldwell Banker mask. If you need a house, hit her up. That's my shameless little plug for her.
Duly noted. Hey, much needed. I'm sure. It's I'm being told is it a seller's market? It's a seller's market.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
I don't really know the difference. I would figure if it's a seller's market, then that would also make it a buyer's market. But just because I'm not an economist.
no, me either.
Wall Street is not my forte. Any Jew. So when did Casa Blue come together? Because what was maybe next time your only? I kind of skipped over Eric. Was maybe next time your only project before Casa Blue?
I did music in high school for a really it's kind of like my learning how to write music and learning how to be in a band, and it's kind of like my first learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not perfect by any means,
Mm-hmm.
But I was a drummer in a band called Man Against Society. It's
Oh, okay.
not the
Yeah.
greatest.
No, I
but
remember that one too. Okay.
We had shows at is it?
Careful.
Well, I know.
Don't mess it up.
He worked,
Lamangelos?
is it? I say Lamangelos. How do you say it?
1 second.
Or Lemongellos. We'll
One second. Jake.
Jake, help us here, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure.
You
I'm
can-
pretty
you
sure.
can say whatever you want.
I'm pretty sure Matt says. Matthew Scott says Lamangelos
He
as
says
well.
lemongellos or lamangelos. Depending on what I do is
Tie
when I
work
answer
there.
the phone, I switch it up like 50-50. So yeah.
So now no one knows.
No one
No one knows. No one knows.
Just go by LJ's and you're good.
You're good. Yep.
No, but what was cool is we'd have little local shows and at Lamangelos is what I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna overthink this.
Here we go
everyone,
to
okay?
stumble again.
But and we'd have the principal there, our teachers would come out,
Right.
and our best friends, and our whole class would just be there just to show support, and I thought that was so cool. You don't always see that nowadays.
No.
Where you feel you have to twist people's arm to get out and go to your events and shows nowadays. and that's not as fun as like I guess in high school, like maybe people were just itching to get out. I don't
Right.
know what it was, but
Yeah, because besides
a
football
theme
games
of
and
its own.
basketball games, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But also you don't know as many people who are in a band and stuff when you're in high school.
Yeah.
Now it's pretty. Maybe it's just because of like the people I've surrounded myself with, but I know tons of people in a band
Yeah.
and stuff. And when shows are actually like up and running and stuff, I know someone's got a show almost every weekend.
Yeah.
You know, depending on who you know.
Yeah.
So
and making it to all those would be tricky. I
exactly.
would
So
assume.
like it's so yeah, I'm not gonna make it to everybody's show, but now. Right now, no one has any excuse. So,
True.
come to Comedy Night at Parrots Lounge every Thursday night at 9 p.m. and that includes you guys.
I was gonna give you a plug on that, but I'm glad you gave your own plug.
Yeah, no, I felt a natural segue.
Good. I like that.
So all right, so now moving forward, Casa Blue, circa. What was the establishment? I don't
It's a
know.
long tail.
So that could be a Keith or Lorenzo
It's
thing.
a long story.
Oh, I like
Do
this.
we
I
want
would-
to go through it?
I mean,
We
I
don't
would just say,
just like we can
I
short
would
it.
say, honestly,
The personal
Matt kind of hit me and Renzo up in like a chat, asking if we wanted to just like play music. Me and Renzo.
Searching for that like kind of band fam
Just-
after MNT kind of.
Right, trying to jam and just like feel people out, kind of.
Find like-minded souls, individuals to
Right.
kind of share my time and creative space with.
Yeah, and me and Renzo kind of just like collaborated online a lot because like he was in college, I was in college, and like I moved out to California for a little while, but I would like send him some music every now and then and be like, hey, can you write something to this? And like
Love
kind
will
of like
find a way.
yeah, we kind of like started like our own band, I guess,
all
in a
it
way.
was purely virtual, which
It was
is
all
pretty
virtual.
crazy.
We never
Yeah.
actually like jammed together. Like we
No.
never even got in the same room, but we would like send each other like tracks back and forth.
And one of those tracks ended up being the first song we ever wrote together.
shoot.
New
That's
Faces. You remember that?
So that's
Well, one of my favorite songs, also, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
that's actually I was listening to New Faces when I messaged Matt about coming on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's crazy.
But anyways, sorry.
Yeah, so it kind of started like that, and we just like jammed with the three of us, me, Renzo, and Matt, for like a good few months, and then we just kind of started finding other members, and it kind of just came together over a bit of time, but
Bits and pieces, you know?
and it wasn't easy. I think there was a couple times we were like thinking about just like quitting because it was like really hard to like
just the difficulty.
yeah, and like
It's hard to find people who, I don't know, like sometimes, and aligning 5 adult schedules is
Right.
also another thing to be talked about, but
yeah.
like you're right, like it kind of came about just from they were doing stuff and I saw what they were doing and I was like, they seem to be creating some stuff that I find really interesting.
I think
And
Matt heard stuff.
I was
like,
a fan of what they
I
were
don't know how
putting
you
out on
heard our stuff.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yeah.
Oh, that's
I was listening to what you guys were putting out on SoundCloud and I was like, I want to write that kind of stuff with you guys if possible. So
Inspiration coming from SoundCloud. You know what? That's
Yo.
not something you hear every day. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
Right.
dude, SoundCloud is low-key still amazing.
I don't want to hear that. So how long? Also, an applaud to the virtual collaboration, especially in like you hear I guess we'll say big name artists and producers collaborating in that way, you know, sending tracks back and forth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and especially like now we see virtual collaboration as like Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So where you are still like live and in person, you can like there's a slight delay, but you could still jam together. You
Yeah.
know.
We tried it once.
It didn't
Oh my
It was
god.
a mashed potato party.
Yeah. I would. Is it that slight delay?
It was that delay. Like I'd be like, all right, and then we start going. Did you start? Did you end? What did you do? Yeah, no, it's.
The camera
Sam-
falling off. I was
Sam
going
took
too
a
hard.
video. Sam took a video of
It
it,
was
and
really
he's
funny.
like, I'm gonna listen to it. Maybe it'll sound great after the fact. And he's like,
No worries.
so guys, it didn't sound great after the fact.
Have you ever heard a round start like way too early? Yeah, I would imagine it sounds a little like that.
Hey, you know, we tried though. You know, we
You persevered, and then what happened? Did
Give up.
someone come home? come home to Michigan? Is that what happened? So how did Casa Blue, I guess, progress past the virtual stage?
I think it was mainly just
We started just doing what Keith and I did. We sent just tracks, bits and pieces, and then kind of put like little things together that way. And a lot of them, I mean, some of those ideas are what are new stuff that we're making right now.
We
But
used
that's just
to
what it
get
was.
together too in like
Yeah,
Keith's mom's house in that basement, and like we just literally spend 8 to 10 hours on the weekends just jamming and fleshing out ideas and just kind of like letting ourselves out in a very therapeutic way. We were just kind of releasing ourselves.
Right.
So then eventually we got like Sam and Tyler in the mix, and like we decided like we started doing that in a room, like just continuing on it,
Right.
and like we
Christian mingle.
yeah, we were on Christian Mingle.
How'd you guys find us?
I was not ready to hear that.
No, I actually so I knew Matt's mom from church.
Okay,
So
so
that's
yes,
Christian
Christian
Mingle.
Mingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the
Cindy, no.
Holland way of.
Yeah. Okay, so I was on like the worship team, whatever, and we were just talking, and she mentioned like, yeah, you know Matt from like back in high school. I had gone to like some shows, and she had mentioned that Matt was jamming with these guys, and they needed a bassist, and I was like, my ears up, and I was like, what? Because I hadn't been playing with a band for probably like a year or so,
Right.
and I was kind of needing that again. So I just randomly messaged Matt, I think. Like, hey, I heard you guys need a bassist.
We
like,
were
would
in
you
the
want-"
studio, literally
Oh,
recording our
yeah.
first EP. We didn't have a bassist. We had Tyler and no, we had Sam and Lorenzo recording the bass parts,
Try to figure it out.
and then
Just
he hit us up, and I was
Doing
like,
our best.
guys, we just had a bass player message us. Like, we gotta jam with this guy. We gotta get together.
How
with him."
serendipitous.
They're like, who is it? And they're like, it's Time Out. And I was like,
We're
Everyone's
"He's in
like,
already. Let's see what the
that's
show."
it. We gotta jam with the guy.
Oh yeah.
So it was
Yeah, it worked out really cool.
very natural coming together, honestly.
And on my end, after Midwest Skies, even while I was in the other band, like I wrote a lot of like stuff similar to what we write now.
Mhm.
And Matt and I would meet every now and then and just like spend a night just
Creating
fleshing stuff
stuff.
out and drinking some beers, having a good old time. and
Right on, right on.
and I've been wanting to jam with them, and I didn't want to invite myself.
Right.
Because obviously with M&T being done, I want to be like, we're gonna follow each other everywhere. So,
Yeah.
Then
I
one
could
day,
see. Yeah, that like tag along kind of
Yeah.
and wanting. No, we're buds, dude. Where are you going? Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, I was
yeah,
really
so
good friends.
Yeah.
We've always been like really good friends ever since like the beginning of
Yeah.
MNT, and like I remember not wanting you to try out almost because I didn't want it to not work out.
Right.
Because we're
Oh,
such
yeah.
good friends that I was
Yeah.
like, if it doesn't work, like,
Now what?
are we gonna stay
I would
friends?
never
Like,
be
what's
his
gonna
friend.
happen?
And I tell you what,
All right, see you
if
guys.
we weren't in
We're
this
not
band
even friends
right
with
I was
now,
about ready
still
to
wouldn't be
let
friends.
that finish. I'm just kidding. But no, I waited for that invite, and
Right.
yeah, he messaged me. He goes, "Hey, you want to jam with us?" I'm like, "Let's go,
Oh yeah.
let's go."
The rest may be history. So when was this? I guess we'll put a year stamp on it.
It's probably like the summer of 2018
Yeah.
when this all
Yeah.
came like
Mhm.
really full circle.
Right.
And then
Came to a head.
yeah,
Nice.
so that sounds about when. I think that's when you joined.
Yeah, because you guys were like just finishing up recording the first EP.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was like July or August.
Yep.
Probably. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's super awesome to just hear the like because of the challenge of not being all together, that when you did get to all be in one room, like the pent up creativity or like the pent up even just excitement of getting together and like finally like, okay, now we can actually hammer this out. Now we have it's like an expectation, I guess, of
That is such
that you
a
could build
thing.
up in yourself.
Yeah, that's a thing. And like during quarantine, what happened was like I'm a big fan of Young the Giant,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was seeing that they were doing this song a day challenge,
Right.
where like each band member like starts like an idea, starts demoing an idea, and then they send it on to the next member.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, we should do something like that. So then Keith's like, I'll start us with a drum beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sam's like, okay, I got guitar. And then Ty's like, I got bass. Or it might have been the other way around. I don't remember. And then I was like, okay, vocals. And then like we kind of got like an interesting idea. Kind of like...
It's like something we never would have written if,
in person.
Yeah, if we were in person.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost going back to the roots of,
yeah.
I guess, how you started.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Creating in different
That's
ways,
how it
yeah.
felt. And like, it was one of those things too, like, originally, like, starting out, like, if I would send something to Renzo or he'd send me something, I feel like I'd never tell him, like, hey, this has to sound a certain way, or,
Right.
you know, it was just more like open, like, whatever the song becomes, it
Yeah.
becomes, you know? And so, like, I felt like it was cool because we didn't go into it thinking, like, we got to sound like this in this band or something.
Right,
It's
and
more
then
just
there's so
like,
much freedom with that
yeah,
creativity.
and that kind of
Well
carried
said.
over into what we did, like, as the five of us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was kind of like, I remember like the big thing is like I'd just be excited to hear like what Renzo would send me back, because I was like, I don't know what he's gonna do,
Right.
and it
What's
could
the
be
next
anything.
move, I guess?
Yeah, and like it always never be like what I would think he would do. It'd be like something totally different. I'm like, oh, I fucking love that. Like,
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
yeah, we were all like surprised every time someone added something like, oh, I didn't think that we're out, and
You're right.
it was all built
Yeah.
on each other. It was
And-
really cool.
I think that's a benefit of not being like in the same environment, like in that like same space.
Yeah.
So when you're in like physically different creative spaces, it does give you different inspirations than if you were all together creating something and seeing the same things around you and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, that's such a, and it's such a. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No,
Eric.
I think I think like you bringing that up was really
Thanks,
cool. Like you're dead on. Like where you create and when you create and like who you create with, like these are all factors that like kind of really drum into what's gonna be
What you
put on-
create, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had already talked about how like chemistry and stuff like that is almost like a different instrument when it comes to creating music collaboratively. And so when you and I think this is a super interesting thing that I don't hear a lot of, mostly because maybe I'm not plugged into that world, but both the collaborative practice, the collaborative creativity together, but also the like individual collaborations, and to use them both like in your overall creation of music is
all
super
equally,
awesome.
It's all equally important too because it kind of gives each member their own voice in a way. Because we're working on like 5 or 6 songs that we're looking to kind of release.
Right.
We don't have a date or anything like that, so I'm not gonna throw one out there. But it's really kind of cool because we have one where Tyler kicked off a bass track, and then everyone's kind of funneling around it. Keith kicked off a beat, and everyone's funneling around it, and like everyone's using their voice in a genuine way, and like that's what art is,
Right.
You know? Like, and music is such a collaborative force. Like in visual art, I don't know, it's not necessarily like that, is it, Keith?
no, and like I think for all of us, it's like I feel like we're all just really trying to make like art that's honest to us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's always felt like the same for me, like with this band. Like it just feels like everyone really just is really passionate about making music.
Right.
And it's really cool because it's like a lot of people lose it, I think,
Mm-hmm.
just in general, like doing art and stuff
Right.
when they get older.
You
Of
lose,
life.
yeah, you lose a drive, and
Yeah.
other things get in the way of where
Yeah,
that
it's-
time could go and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like for me, like I feel like when we write music and stuff, like I look at writing songs as like almost like a diary. It's like this is where I was or where we were at this
Mhm.
time, and like
It's an archive.
no matter what, yeah, like you look back and like what that piece is like gonna kind of be what it was, whether it's good or bad, or you didn't like this or that, or you love this. It's like it is what it is, and it's kind of like throwing paint on the wall. And
Exactly. This
kinda-
was that time, and this was that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
Where you were at that time.
yeah. I think that's I don't know, part of the reason, because we are all so passionate about it, and because it is a collaboration, I think that makes it mean something to all of us, as opposed to, like, I've been in bands. So before Casa, I played guitar in a band where the main guy would write the entire song, and almost to the point of like everyone else's parts.
Right.
Like I am the band, and like here's what you all are gonna play behind me. So going from that to this, where like we can show up to a practice with nothing and come out an hour later with a song and a half
Right.
that means something in like an equal amount to almost every person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're all way more invested in it, and it's like dear to me, as opposed to like I'm just gonna like memorize these notes that someone else told me to play.
And when it comes to the music, like we even have an equal say when it comes to the lyrics and stuff as well. Like Tyler wrote a song like years ago, and he's like, "Hey, I have these lyrics, and like I really like them. Can we use them?" And I was like, "Yeah." So if in Bloom, a lot of it is like kind of brought in from a previous song that like Tyler had written like prior, which is kind of cool.
And I equate that a little bit like from writing versus acting, or like even like comedy versus acting. Like it's easy enough to memorize lines and stuff like that. I was in drama in middle school, but it's easy enough to remember someone else's words. Yeah. But there's so much more, I don't know, sense of achievement, or even just it feels easier and feels better to yourself to proclaim your own words and get them out there, no matter, or even like your own part, so your own voice. Like I understand someone has this idea, and this is what I've contributed to it. This is me speaking through for their song, or for whoever has like the head of the collaborative movement, because I know that's like obviously someone can start with like a drum beat. So someone starts with or a bass group, or a guitar riff. Anyone can start and kind of head that, but where it goes, anyone can, I guess, determine.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's a beautiful. I love art and just creating and talking about creative processes.
Me too,
is
because
my favorite.
everyone and you could talk to any band about creative process and get a different answer.
Exactly.
Because there's no written formula as to how to create a song. Like how Jake Kalmink is amazing, and like how he writes a song is probably going to be completely different than how we write a song.
Right.
Love you, Jake.
Yeah, and that's what I love about talking to different artists, and especially getting all 5 different artists in here at once, and also noting that they all had different approaches to music in general, and how you guys got started, and just different methods of creating. Now, I know a lot of bands usually start creating, like you guys have said, you can get together, like you could come with nothing, and an hour later you'll have a song and a half. But is there any like specific way, I'll start with you, Lorenzo, is there any specific way that you kind of get into that personal flow state, that what we're trying to achieve when we're creating? Is there any way that you've kind of found works for you to get on a personal level when you're trying to bring something to the table, maybe?
Yeah, and usually I try to bring something to the table on occasion, just even if it's just one chord.
Right.
But I mean, frequently, what I do a lot, I mean, and it could be weird to some people, but like, I've just set up in my room, set up my gear, like just simple recording stuff, shut the door, dim lights, and just play along and just mess around for like hours and hours. And I mean, something comes out from there, but a lot of it's just, like I said again, like stress reducing.
Exactly.
But, I don't know, just chilling and just writing and just that space, just alone, like I have my eyes closed, just whatever, relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
And something comes out of that sometimes not.
Right.
And then I can bring some of those little things over to whenever we have a practice, and then I don't know, I feel like that helps jumpstart some things.
Definitely. And even if it still is meditative, and
that's what, perfect. For example, it's oddly meditative.
Exactly. And so no matter what, it's still productive, whether or not something creative comes out of it. It was meditative in the
self-care
least.
game.
Exactly, self-care. It's all about that
Shout out
self-care.
Mac.
Shout out Mac. R.I.P. Keith, you took it. You spoke up, so now it's your turn. Is there anything you do to kind of conjure a creative spirit, if you will?
Not really. It just kind of comes and goes for me.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes.
What about journals?
Oh, well, yeah.
Or what about
I
demos?
yeah. I guess with creativity, it's a weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's really just like energy based for me.
Right.
Like, I spend a lot of my time working, like just not a great job.
Yeah. No, I feel
And
you.
so like I don't always have energy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But being in this band and just like doing music and stuff in general gives me energy, I guess,
Mhm.
sometimes. But yeah, I guess it's just something like sometimes I just like feel this like I need to just create something like
Right. It's almost a rush.
yeah,
like
and it doesn't always have to be music either,
Mhm.
but just in general I like just making things, so I think that kind of translates for me a lot when like we get together.
Right.
I just kind of try to bring that energy to a practice
Oh yeah.
or yeah.
Heard on.
That's kind of how it works for me.
Funky. Not fucky. Funky. Tyler, how do you usher in the spirit of creativity? I'm only going to I'm going to use Christian terms now for the
Because I
rest of
mentioned
the time.
that I went to church.
Yeah. No.
That's, no, that's funny. Kind of the same as Lorenzo. Like, I think being a bass player, it's interesting because it's like I don't really sit at home with my bass amp by
Right.
myself, just like. So I play guitar, obviously too. So generally, it's the same thing, like just stress relief.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a 1.5-year-old daughter, and so the small amount of time that I do have to myself, I play music, and it's more just to like calm myself down or like release some tension from the day. And that kind of takes away from putting pressure on myself, like I need to create something. It's more just like I'm just going to play whatever I feel like, and if something comes out of that, then I'll bring it to band practice. But I think one of the nice things, and I mentioned I was in a band before where someone had essentially everything laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the nice thing about that is there isn't pressure on the other band members to like feel like you have to bring something. So
Right.
kind of the nice thing about I trust all of these guys, where if I'm having a weird night and I just don't have anything to bring, I know at least one of them is going to have something awesome, and I can just flow with that.
Right.
So
You
that
build off
helps
of-
take the pressure off of me of feeling like every time I need to have like something written or yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tyler is on another level when it comes to making anything like on the spot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all have talked about it behind the back many times.
Tyler's the improv guy. He's like,
When he needs to be.
Right.
I don't know.
I didn't come with anything today, guys, but just
Here's this.
start something. Just start something. I'll get in there.
Anyways, why not? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sam.
I guess for me, I guess I echo, kind of what Tyler's saying. Like, I don't feel any pressure in this band because to me, it's easy to come up with stuff. And it's definitely different because in M&T, like, I wrote a lot of, licks and leads and whatnot. When this band, I played more rhythm. So what I enjoy the most, I guess, is coming up with something, and it's super simple chord structure. In my head, I'm like, hey, I know Tyler can come up with something cool with this, Renzo, Keith. I just have absolute trust and faith because they'll bring a song that's so simple and just elevate it. So when I write something super simple, I just know that there's a big picture.
Right.
So
Hell yeah. And that's like we talked about earlier, like
The
Keith
less
was
is
saying.
more, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like finding a spot
Yeah.
where like you can just add to what the bigger picture exactly. And playing an intricate part still, and knowing and being comfortable enough to do that as well, to not just I need a solo.
Yeah.
Guys, I understand this song's been great and all, but we played for 4.5 minutes and I didn't hear a solo from me personally. So yeah, no, and to have that comfort is trust, and that's awesome. That's something that was heard multiple times, is trust and knowing that you are in a group of creativity and you can lean on each other for that creativity. Matthew,
Yeah, I feel bad because I interrupted Keith.
It's all right. You better.
But he had a very genuine answer that I just also want to kind of echo. I think people in bands like, or like maybe it's outside people looking at like artists and bands and stuff, always tend to think, oh, they're always creating, they're always doing this, they're always on their A game, they're always creating something. But creativity is in itself kind of this up and down. Some days you want to do it, some days it hurts you to do it and you just don't want to. And like music is kind of, I guess creativity in general, it could be comedy, it could be anything. It's kind of love, you have a love-hate relationship with that.
Right.
And like you were saying it, and I feel bad for really interrupting you, but that was a very genuine point. So I'm not always inspired, and I think that's what Keith was getting at too. He's not always inspired. We probably all aren't, but it does help that we have that kind of camaraderie, that base and that trust. And I think, but for me, it's not easy to say, but I think improvisation and like just coming in and not having to play written songs is important for me.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we can come in and just like jam chords and just sing and let myself out is like very fun and therapeutic. So improv jams are like a big thing for me to creatively reinvigorate me.
Right. And I think it's a good way to like usher in that creativity.
Yeah.
If everyone just comes, like, even if you have something that you want to bring to the table, you can bring it forth in that jam, or you could just let the creativity flow there. I think it's like to even just start practices and stuff like that with a jam, unless you feel like you're gonna lose some. I've never been in a band. What am I saying?
It sounds like you
Yeah,
have.
sounds great.
All right, it was for like 2 months in 7th grade. We were called Legion Park, and we didn't do anything because we really can't with that name.
What'd you play?
I was the vocalist. That
Whoa.
was way before cigarettes and whatnot. So I don't want to keep you guys any longer standing. I know it's hard. I do have just, I guess, one last question. I know everything's hard right now with COVID and stuff like that to say that it's hard to promote anything. But and I know you said you're coming out with a new project. You don't really have a date on it yet, and that's why I won't press you on that. But I do want to ask you, what is, and this is a hard question, I guess, to answer because it's a hard question to ask even. But what is your goal with your art? If anything, you can answer this on a personal level. I don't know if Casa Blue has a mission statement, but
I wrote it.
I got it right here, actually, laminated. But I know each person has their own personal goals. And I don't know if people talk about this when they are joining a band. Like, what do we want to do with our music? What message do we want to portray? What is the image that we want to put out there? Like, I know for myself, like, I want to do honest comedy or honest content that brings people joy, makes people laugh, but also makes them think and kind of question the environment around them. That's my own personal goal, I think, with what I want to do as it approaches comedy and podcasting and content and things like that. I want to shine a light on the world around us, but also bring people joy and make them think. So anyone feel free to answer, whoever, but at an individual level, or what even your personal goal with Casa Blue is, what do you want to do with this?
I don't know, at least it's, I know when we were writing lyrics to things with Matt, I mean, some of the stuff is like, it's personal things between maybe all of us or maybe one of us. But I don't know, I think lyrics that were really relatable. I mean, I listen to a lot of bands that if I don't really relate to the I don't know, sometimes if I don't relate to the lyrics and, you know, then I kind of like get out of the vibe of the song.
Exactly, it takes you out of the
groove. It kind of
groove.
takes me out of it, but I don't know, relating to the music and like, oh, this person talking about this, or I went through that, it's kind of, it's a nice thing to kind of feel. I don't know how else to explain that, but that's kind of how we've done with like lyrics stuff as well, and stuff that's honest that real people go through.
Exactly, because
Or
you know
real
you're speaking to
experiences.
somebody.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I thought about just lyrics in general. And I mean, I guess I kind of bring the like build on top of that more with just the the instrumentals that I'm doing
Mhm.
with that. But for me, it's always been like it's just nice to be part of something that's bigger than myself, and it's crazy
Amen.
because like literally like zero, like there's nothing, and then you go in the studio and you have like this sound that will live long, after you.
Right.
I don't know, there's just something really cool about that. It's that major creative process from nothing to
Yeah.
here it is. Just it was pure the idea up in here. So that's what I really
I love that.
like
And
about that.
from nothing to something that is here now and will live forever on. That's and that's such an awesome image to think about.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. That's a really good question, but it's a really difficult one to answer.
I knew it going into it. That's on you guys.
It's alright.
But for me personally, I just, man, I'm not getting any younger. I am 30 years old in 2020. I can't believe it. But my goal is to be genuine in what I do. Use this kind of, I'm going to say it's a gift, or use creativity to kind of like let myself out. It's therapy.
Right.
It's catharsis, and it's a beautiful way to connect with others. It's community as well. And I think music is so powerful in that way because it connects people so much.
It's
Like,
universal.
We're here
Yeah.
because of music.
Right.
And you had us because of music, which is amazing. Thank you for doing that. But like, I think also everyone kind of has their own internal goals, and then I think there's also overarching external goals of the project itself.
Right.
So I think my goal overall might be a little different than say Keith's or Tyler's or
Right.
Renzo's or Sam's. But I think at the end of the day, we always want to create something that's very genuine and real to us.
Right.
And hopefully something that speaks to somebody else as well.
Mhm.
You know?
And I think the best way to speak out is to be true to yourself. And I love that. Does anyone have anything else to add?
Well, I
I think you kind of summed it up.
yeah.
For me,
Yeah,
at
there
least.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to,
Sorry.
No, that's a
we-
great answer.
As long as we all have this creative spark to just keep doing it and releasing, because I mean, as Lorenzo touched on earlier, like just having lyrics that can be relatable to people is life changing. I mean, even in M&T, that was our goal lyrically.
Right.
I mean, you get people coming up to shows that really listen to your lyrics, and they come up to you and say, "Hey, like this song really did hit me." And,
Yeah.
And then that just kind of blows your mind. You're like, I'm just some kid in a basement that was just stinking around. And
Exactly.
So-
It's the whole coming from nothing to something that is now here,
Yeah.
living on, and touching people.
yeah,
Because I'm definitely a person who listens to lyrics. And so to hear that people actually have a goal with what they put out lyrically is heartwarming. It's the opposite of disheartening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's heartening, if that makes sense. But because I am very lyrically in tune, I guess. That's mostly my ears go to what you're saying.
yeah.
And then like you said, then I can follow, I can get into the groove. But if I can't agree or can't relate with what's going on, then it takes me out of the funk.
Yeah. I feel like we're all really intentional about everything that they said. I don't want to add on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I just keep doing music. That's the main thing, and just not give up.
Hell yeah.
Because art's amazing.
Beautiful.
And I guess as artists, we feel, I know I do. I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but I feel like as an artist, if I'm not creating, I feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's this weird urge to create. So like there's times where obviously I want to create and times where I don't, but at the end of the day, there's always an urge to continue to want to do it. And that's kind of why we are here. We just continue to want to do it. And we're the lucky ones who found
Right.
a good group of people who we can share this time and space
Yeah.
with.
And I think that kind of confirms the purpose. I think what you're speaking to is you don't always want to create, but you feel that you're called to.
Yeah.
And with a certain group of people, you can actually feel like you're fulfilling that purpose too.
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys do seem fulfilled, and I think that's how you know it's something good that is gonna last. And it was actually really fucking inspiring and invigorating to get you guys in here. I really appreciate the energy that you guys brought in.
Thank you
And,
for having us.
yeah.
Seriously.
Dude, thank you again. I know you guys can follow him on Instagram at Casa Blue MI. Do you have a Twitter? Or
We do
is it just okay?
No
Cool.
No, it's
No
it's
tweets.
a battlefield on Twitter. So
Yeah, yeah. Love is a battlefield, and so is Twitter.
So
But you can also like their page on Facebook, Casa Blue, and yeah. Anything else you guys would like to promote? I know, like I said, live shows and stuff like that's a weird thing, but anything you guys want to shout out?
We had some shows. Unfortunately, shows are not really a thing right now
Right.
due to the
yeah,
pandemic. but
sometimes stuff will pop up, but
Yeah.
as the date gets closer, it's apparent it's not gonna. But I don't know. We're just taking things as everything progresses, and
Yeah.
taking time to create and spend time
Yeah.
together too. But like, honestly, big shout out to Jake for giving us the space and you for giving us the time
Oh,
because
my pleasure, dude.
Yeah.
it means a lot to us to just be here.
I also
so.
was gonna say, the Blue music video. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a jerk about it. I mean, we have a little bit of views on the Blue music video, but the production to do that music video
it was wild.
was incredible.
Yeah.
So much work, so
And
much
you were
storyboarding.
hands-on. He was hands-on in the whole
Everything. I worked with a
process.
few creative people, and they did a lot of it, but
Yeah.
I was kind of some of the ideas I wanted to put
Mhm.
in. But please check that out. That is, I love that video so
And we're
much.
proud of
It's
that.
so much
Is
work
that
went
labor
into it.
of
And
love?
is that on your YouTube
Yeah, it's on
channel?
YouTube.
Yeah.
And who helped us create that, Renzo?
Their names
Olivia, Tamara, and
Brittany.
Brittany.
Yep.
Yeah, they were part of just I don't know, an audio video.
They're from Jam and GR.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but
Yeah,
all
I don't
those
know
people
either.
helped create it.
Mhm.
The credits are all in the info section, but that
Yeah.
was so much work went into that, man.
Awesome.
A lot
Yeah.
of coffee.
Oh yeah,
A lot of coffee.
Too much caffeine.
Yeah.
And not enough sleep. So that's the Blue music video on youtube.com/Casa Blue, or Casa Blue.
I'll just cost of
Just look up Casa Blue on
Just
YouTube.
look it up.
Yeah. I know it's hard to keep up with URLs and stuff like that. But once again, thank you guys so much. I don't know if you're comfortable. I know we're expecting to play one song. Would you like to play us out? You can if you like, but I understand if you don't have anything prepared.
I'm down.
Totally cool. But this is up to you.
Whatever you want to do.
We could
man.
do Bloom.
Want to do it?
It'll be
All right,
totally
let's do it.
improv.
Let's
Yeah.
Why
I
not?
like.
we can
Oh
do-
fuck yeah!
Why not?
Okay.
Let's
Thank-
try it.
Hey. This way everyone knows you guys aren't like expecting it. So it also takes away from expectation.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have this with me.
Oh, perfect. And one more time, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Where Is This Going? I'm your host, Hunter Miles. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Spotify, Where Is This Going with Hunter Miles. Like us on Facebook, Where Is This Going, the podcast. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe, and Casa Blue one more time.
Your eyes, it tell a lifetime. Every sky, every word, every thought